Hello everyone, my name is Mariah Swank and I am the teacher of Literary Magazine, and I am so excited to be talking about Literary Magazine and what this class will look like in the upcoming school year. We are looking forward with so much anticipation. So with that, I hope that this course info night has been incredibly helpful for you, and hopefully this video can give you a sense of what the Literary Magazine class looks like, what we're about, and hopefully help you as you and your student are making choices for next year's schedule. So Literary Magazine, what is it? Literary Magazine is an elective class that acts as an introduction to both expressive or creative writing, in which students are given the space to explore both fiction and poetry from a variety of authors. They're given the space to hone their abilities and interests as creative writers, and they have the opportunity to showcase both their own work and their peers' work in a once a semester literary magazine publication put out by our Literary Magazine students. Our first semester focuses on fiction, and this will end with a short story project that takes place in the last couple weeks of the semester. However, we take the entirety of the first semester to explore prose and just all of the incredible tools that are available to hone and create our fiction works. Our second semester focuses on poetry, and both reading incredible poetry but also creating poetry. We look at a variety of forms, from cinquains to haikus to sonnets to free verse to prose poems. So lots of different poetry projects that come with that. In addition, I wanted to just make sure that I mentioned that this course is a 2-semester course, so it is for the entirety of this school year versus where some electives are only a 1-semester course. This one is 2, so just keep that in mind as you're making your decisions. As far as the workload goes for Literary Magazine, while we do work to keep the majority of work completed in class, students can expect that they will be asked to type up the pieces that they work on in class, place them in the class Google Drive folder, edit and revise their own work. They can expect to do those things for homework. As far as an average amount of time that's spent on homework, I would say that it does depend on the student and just what their writing process looks like. Some students find that they need more time to come up with an idea or to flesh out an idea, and so we definitely want to give them that space to do that. However, I would say that on average, a student could complete their work for Literary Magazine with 15 minutes a day outside of classwork time that's given at the school. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. There are no prerequisites for this class. However, we do limit our class to rising sophomores, rising juniors, and rising seniors. So rising freshmen, come to me next year. Students are assessed based on completion of assignments by the deadlines provided, effort placed in the writing process, and participation in class. Our class has weighted categories, and so those categories are assignments and journals. That's going to be 25% of our class grade. Portfolio will be another 25%. Participation is 25%. Magazine work is 15%, and submissions is 10%. So to break down what each of those categories looks like, for assignments and journals, students are given a variety of assignments that go with the content that we're covering in the class. So for example, if we're talking about the 5 senses and creating art based off of those 5 senses, your student may be asked to write a prose piece describing something from the perspective of someone who is from the past. And so having to utilize those 5 senses to create that piece is a great practice assignment for that. So that's something that they would complete in class and then be asked to type up and place in the class Google Drive folder. From there, what we do with our pieces is we do something called a workshop. And so basically the way that a workshop works is we collect all of the pieces that have been completed for that specific assignment, and then we take time in class to go through every person's piece. And so we give that artist the opportunity to read their piece aloud, and then we walk through and we talk through the really incredible things that are in that piece and celebrate the wins. But then also we talk through some constructive feedback on suggestions or improvements for future works, things to consider as they're continuing to grow and hone their craft. So that is what assignments and journals look like. As far as portfolios go, at the end of each quarter, students will be asked to submit a 3 to 5 piece portfolio of work to the teacher. This can include work that they've completed within the class, but it will be cleaned up, typed up, and sent to me for that assignment for the portfolio. As far as participation in class goes, this looks like completing assignments on time, receiving and giving constructive feedback to peers on pieces, and actively participating in classroom discussions. Magazine work is directly related to our release of the Inkling. Each student receives a specific job that they complete to help with getting the Inkling across the finish line, and so their magazine work grade will come from their effort in class to help the Inkling happen and to go through pieces, do editing, all of those sorts of assignments that go with the publication. And last but certainly not least, submissions. Students are asked to submit to an outside source once a semester. And so that submissions will be a one-time deal. All they have to do is submit. They don't have to be accepted, but it's just a way of us encouraging our students to get their work out there and potentially, who knows, get accepted, and then we can celebrate that as a class. Although taking the confidence and the courage to be able to submit to an outside source is certainly victory enough. So with that, we hope to see you in Literary Magazine class next year.